As NFC Central Division rivals Detroit and Green Bay get set to square off. The incentive for Green Bay, they're one of 6 teams competing for the last available playoff spot in the NFC, and a victory today is a must against the Lions. Both teams will be battling frigid weather conditions, minus 28 degrees with the wind chill. It could get down to minus 40. And good afternoon, everyone. I'm James Brown along with Randy Cross. And the Lions come into today's contest with their much talked about run and shoot offense on a roll. And Randy, they're actually hoping to silence a few critics today.
In the last 2 weeks, Rodney Peete in the run and shoot against good opponents, and the Bears and the Raiders have put 69 points up. They've done very, very well. And the run and shoot architects, Mouse Davis and June Jones, they feel the last monkey they have to throw off their back is the fact that this run and shoot won't function in bad weather.
You talk about getting the monkey off the back. The Packers had a very businesslike week of work after that 31-0 spanking by the Philadelphia Eagles last week. Does that suggest we might see a different team today?
Well, Coach Lindy and Fonny and the Green Bay Packers Friday, when we met with them, seemed very subdued, very quiet. They're a team right now coming off a bad beating from the Philadelphia Eagles, and they made the point to us. Lindy said, it was my fault. My team wasn't ready, but tomorrow these guys are pros. They better be ready to play against Detroit because they're going to be loaded for bear.
The Lions have won the coin toss and have elected to receive Chris Jackie. Second-year kicker will be kicking off to the NFL's leading kickoff returner in Mel Gray. And from the 16, Chris Oldham fumbles. Looks to have been recovered by Green Bay. And the Packers will take over at about the 33-yard line of the Lions. And Randy, you mentioned one of the biggest problems in cold weather is holding on to the ball.
Football maintenance is the toughest part of this game in cold weather when you're not used to it. I consider the Detroit Lions a southern team, a warm weather team. They're in that dome all the time. And look at Oldham. He does not have a real good grasp. When you get in a crowd like that, you should have 2 hands on the ball.
An alert Carl Bland recovering the fumble, so the Packers 1st and 10 from the 34 of the Lions. Blair Keel, third-string quarterback, his first ever NFL start in a non-strike game. And Michael Haddix, pushing ahead down to near the 30-yard line. Pickup of 3 will bring up a 2nd and 7 as we take a look at Blair Keel, quarterback out of Notre Dame. And a big front line that's had some difficulties pass protecting, allowing a league-high 58 sacks to the quarterback this year. And a running game that's not emphasized very much. Indeed, the passing game is Sterling Sharp, the Pro Bowler, at wide receiver. 2nd and 7. Just underway, Packers with the ball after a fumble by the Lions out of the I formation right. Now a split backfield. And the handoff, a double reverse. This is Sterling Sharp. And Sterling Sharp picks up the first down with a 10-yard run out of bounds by Benny Blades. And Sharp involved early.
We talked about the frozen field conditions here in Green Bay, and what better play to run when you get the defense all reacting sharply to the right of the screen there, Sharp coming back the other way. It's hard to change direction. Look at Keel trying to get a block on Irvin, number 47, and finally Blades just hog-ties him and throws him to the frozen turf.
Sharp and Blades are the best of friends off the field. Blades said he will not in any way show him any mercy on the field. Ball marked at the 20 of the Lions. 1st and 10. And we've got a timeout on the field. And Green Bay called a timeout. Blair Keel obviously seeing something he was a little confused about. Wants to talk it over with Lindy and Fonte. The poundage of gear, warm weather gear, or warm gear for cold weather that the Lions brought. There's Woody Wedenhofer there in the middle, wrapped up. As we take a look at Blair Kill. You know, Randy, he said that he has, in fact, some experience in cold weather conditions, having played in the Liberty Bowl back in 1983 when it was about 5 degrees below.
Well, plus playing in Notre Dame up in, in Indiana, it gets a little brisk there from time to time. What a perfect time, though, for Blair Keel and the Packers to go into the end zone. Great defensive front, Pro Bowler Jerry Ball, and this whole defense is just now getting healthy. Chris Philman's the man to watch. Kofer's a great pass rusher from the outside.
1st and 10 for the Pack. Ball at the 20 of Detroit. Ed West in motion. And the handoff on the ground again and dropped for a 3-yard loss. Jerry Ball in leading the tackle. A loss of at least 2 on the play. Woodside nowhere to go.
This Green Bay running game has been anemic all year long. In the last 3 weeks, they're averaging 42 yards a game rushing. That is not acceptable. You have got to get these guys going, and this is a big offensive line. The problem in Green Bay is they need a main man at running back.
5 defensive backs in for the Lions. 2nd and 11. Keel to pass. And it's complete to Ed West, the big tight end, for the 1st down inside the 5. An 18-yard pass play from Keel to West. West 6'1", 240.
And the Detroit defense seems to sniff this out from the very beginning. You'll see Keel will come to his right, and West doesn't look that open. Look at Benny Blake, takes a chance, almost gets the interception, gets his left arm on it, and from there on, it's trying to tackle a big physical tight end, and Ed West driving for the goal line.
1st and goal, ball marked at the 4. Darrell Thompson, the rookie, in. 2 tight ends for the Packers, Ed West and Jackie Harris. This is Harris in motion. Thompson, the rookie. And Thompson gets down to about the 2-yard line. Well, the Packers really haven't emphasized the running game much at all this season because of the offensive philosophy of Lindy Infante, but he says he's pleased with the development of Darrell Thompson out of Minnesota.
He says, in all fairness, though, James, he says, we haven't given this guy a shot. He has not gotten the chance to really show what he can do. Starting next year in training camp, we're going to find out how good Thompson really is.
2nd and 2.
Herman Fontenot in at running back along with Darrell Thompson. Ball marked at the 2, 2nd and goal. And Keel looked to be a little confused on that play, and a loss of about a yard. Dan Owens, the rookie out of USC, on the tackle.
That looks like they took that out of the playbook of the Oklahoma Sooners. Looked like they were trying to run an option play. Keel reversed out and looked like he was looking for somebody to pitch to. Watch Keel come away from the center here, reversing. This is going to be an option play. There was no fullback to fake it to, and his option had been taken away by William White. The safety 35 came upfield, and Keel had nowhere to go. Very, very unusual call by the Packers early in this game.
Loss on the play has the ball marked at the 3, 3rd and goal. No score. 4 wideouts in for the Pack. Keel, quarterback keeper, draw. Touchdown, Green Bay. So Blair Keel picking up the touchdown run.
Let's look at if Blair Keel gets the ball across before the knee goes down. He's a fighter. Look at him going. Definitely, that's 6 points. Good call by the refs and an excellent call by Lindy Infante and the coaches from the Green Bay Packers.
Chris Jackie on for the point after. It's up and it's good. So the Packers take the first lead of the ball game on the quarterback draw by Blair Keel and lead it 7-0. Rushing touchdown this year, moving the Packers out in front by the score of 7-0 as we take a look at Chris Jackie set the kickoff to the Lions. And it was a Lions turnover by Chris Oldham that set up the 33-yard drive for the score.
Detroit needs to get back here on the kickoff to that ball maintenance. When you get in the crowd, get both hands over the ball and protect it. It's harder and it's a lot slicker here in this cold weather.
just flew the ball off the tee. We'll see if, in fact, it happens a second time, in which case they will need a holder.
And who better to hold the ball on a kickoff than a wide receiver? Because you know the wide receivers won't be screaming down. They're going quite as crazy as everybody else.
And this one is high and short, heading in the direction of Mel Gray. He takes it from the 14. And Gray juking his way. Pushed out of bounds at the 30 by Tiger Green. Rodney Peete, quarterback for the Detroit Lions, coming off of an awfully impressive performance over the Chicago Bears. A victory indeed, and an offensive line that includes Lomas Brown, Pro Bowl selection this year. And a backfield, of course, the most dangerous. Barry Sanders, also a Pro Bowl selection this year. And 4 wideouts in the run-and-shoot offense. No tight ends, 1 back, designated the S-back, Barry Sanders. From the 31, 1st and 10. Jeff Campbell in motion. Peete to pass on 1st down. Going up top. Complete to Richard Johnson for the 1st down near the 31 of Green Bay.
And Green Bay came out early here in a 3-4 defense with the same philosophy, sort of like Chicago last week. We're going to stop the run. We're going to take Barry Sanders away from you. Rodney Peete, you beat us with the pass. And Rodney proves here on the first play, you better adjust your philosophy, Hank Fuller, defensive coordinator for Packers. You better do something a little different because he will pick you apart if you stay in a zone 3-4.
And Richard Johnson beat ex-Lion Jerry Holmes. 38-yard pass play. Ball at the 32 of the Packers. Barry Sanders, the ball carrier. And Sanders driving for 5 yards will bring up a 2nd and 5. And the Green Bay defense, Randy.
It's a base defense, and those guys up front, 2 gappers all. They just sort of stuff right at you. They're all very physical. The linebackers are led by Tim Harris. Sort of an off year, only 7 sacks this year for Harris. And in the secondary, Jerry Holmes, former Lions, got plenty of incentive playing in this game against his former teammates.
2nd and 5 from the 27. 9:03 remaining in the first quarter. Packers on top. 7-0. Peete with time. And it's incomplete or out of bounds. The receiver, Mike Farr, didn't have both feet in bounds.
And with this wind blowing, it's kind of a quartering wind, James. It's not coming straight through the tunnel. It's coming in a quartering factor. So Bob Galliano, the backup quarterback, said you'll see more passes going to this side of the field right here, which we see this one go to. See, the tips of the toes are out of bounds. They're just being dragged on the white paint.
Leroy Butler and Ron Pitts in as DBs for the Packers. 6 defensive backs. 3rd and 5. Peete looking for Clark. Incomplete. So Rodney Peete was trying to find Robert Clark, who was being defended by Leroy Butler, and it's incomplete.
And from where the ball is right here, it's a pretty good field goal in this kind of conditions. It'd be about a 43, 44-yard field goal. And Eddie Murray said the ball is really dead in warm-up. The ball is not moving that well.
Well, it looks like Wayne Fonts has decided to go for it on 4th and 5. Ball at the 27 of Green Bay. 8:46 remaining in the first quarter.
And the slot receivers are the keys here in the run and shoot in critical situations on passes.
Trips formation left. Peete decides to run it himself. Has the 1st down. And the touchdown. Detroit. A 26-yard scamper by Rodney Peete, and that's the dimension that Wayne Font says Rodney Peete, a healthy Rodney Peete, gives him, the running.
And Wayne Fonts and the Lions say, oh, yeah, you can run a quarterback draw for a touchdown? So can we. Tim Harris gets manhandled on the nose right there by Kevin Glover, the center. And watch Tiger Green. He can't stay with Pete on this frozen field. Just a little shake and bake, and he loses a DB who falls on the frozen turf.
Eddie Murray on to attempt the point after for the Lions. And the 11th year veteran out of Tulane ties the ball game at 7 apiece. 8:40 remaining in the first quarter, and we're all tied at 7. Lions have tied the score at 7 apiece. And Vince Workman from the 18. And Workman, good second effort, drives it ahead to the 35-yard line of Green Bay. So good field position for the Packers as they come out 1st and 10. That scoring drive for the Lions, 5 plays, 70 yards, a grand total of 1 minute and 57 seconds.
Now watch Tim Harris line up right here, and Sean Patterson, they get taken this way, and the lane opens wide open for Rodney Peete. Watch Glover on Harris in the middle. Nice block. Good job of steering Tim Harris. He slips a little on that frozen turf. Now look at Tiger Green. He's got no footing. Time for new shoes, Tiger.
1st and 10 for Green Bay out of the I formation. Ed West in motion. On the ground, the Packers stay, and Michael Kofer greeting rudely.
And yes, that is Wayne Fonts you see right there. That is not a bank robber. Wayne is a man that has every possible piece of equipment in cold weather. He will not be denied. He will be warm.
Said he will be the warmest of the Lions on the sideline. A loss of 3 on the play will bring up a 2nd and 13. Darrell Thompson, the rookie, in for the Packers. Thompson, the lone back. Michael Haddis in motion. This is Thompson, the ball carrier, and Thompson, an explosive run up the middle. About a 7-yard run. We'll call it 9. Let's bring up a 3rd and 4 situation.
Good call by the Green Bay coaches. Watch this side of the Green Bay Packers line and what they do to what is really a pass rush defense for Detroit. Detroit's got their pass rushers in. They're thinking pass the entire way. And look at them mush those guys off the ball. Great job by the right side.
3rd and 4, ball on the 42.
And the rookie, who has been quiet but continued to work hard, waiting for his opportunity. He's got one today.
That was Hallstrom and Mandridge. Nobody's ever said Tony Mandridge can't drive block.
3rd and 4. Keel, complete for the 1st down. So the Packers looking impressive as Blair Keel finds Charles Wilson, the rookie, out of Memphis State. 17-yard pass play.
It was a nice job by Wilson because he had to actually fall back on this frozen field and grab the ball that was thrown behind him. Got a little Vaseline on the face there to keep the cold off.
Randy, it can't be fun playing in this kind of weather.
Ah, this is great. This stuff's fantastic. I mean, you're only out here 3 hours. It's not like it's forced labor.
Well, we'll see if they feel the same way when it gets down to minus 40. 1st and 10, ball at the 47 of Detroit. On the ground again, and there's a flag on the play. Darrell Thompson running to the right.
A little holding against the Green Bay Packers. Will no doubt be accepted and pushed back.
Pat Haggerty, our official for today, seeming none too anxious to really do an awful lot of talking thus far.
I always wondered, how come officials don't have parkas? They always have to wear those black and white shirts. Those don't look very warm.
Hurry, number 63, offense, field goes back.
So that pushes the ball back to about the 47 of Green Bay. James Campen, the guilty party.
And Campen's got his hands full, figuratively and literally today, with Jerry Ball. He had a rough time last week with Reggie White. Reggie White kind of alternated whipping up on Tony Mandrich and James Campen last week. Well, he gets Jerry Ball, a Pro Bowler, this week on his nose. Look at the guy keeping those feet warm.
1st and 20 for the Packers. Ball at their own 43. And slippery footing, as you saw Thompson trying to get started there, and a loss of 1 on the play.
On this type of field, is the more frozen it gets, quicker hitting plays will be essential if you're going to run the ball. Getting back in the I formation and taking forever to get to the line isn't what you want to do. You want to hit quick, and you want to maximize the footing out there.
Jerry Ball took advantage of the slip by Darrell Thompson to make that tackle.
But Green Bay has the advantage right now. They're going from the right to the left. They're going with the wind right now. Now's the time to pass.
2nd and 21 from the 42. Michael Haddock still on back. 3 wideouts in for the Pack. Keel loses the ball, fumble, and it looks like Detroit has recovered. George Jameson, 4th-year linebacker out of Cincinnati, with the alert play, so the Lions return the favor as they recover the ball in Packer territory.
Well, Wayne Foss told us yesterday Woody Widenhofer has decided this defense is going to get more aggressive. And here's Jameson. Watch him for the fumble. But look at the guys that will be lined up here in the gap, making Blair Keel think. And he seems to lose control of the ball and lose track of it right there as he's dropping back. That ball is flicked. Look at Jameson jump on it. But I was saying, Woody Widenhofer has decided that a more aggressive style of defense fits these Detroit Lions better. And they've played much better in the last couple of weeks since they've been attacked.
4:42 remaining in quarter number 1. Tie ball game at 7 apiece. Lions 1st and 10 from the 33 of the Pack. Pete to pass on 1st down with time. Going up top, looking for Johnson. And nearly intercepted as Jerry Holmes actually had the ball on the numbers. But an alert play by Richard Johnson to jar it loose.
Well, you know some guys are going to come free in the run and shoot. Mouse Davis says every down somebody's open. But if anybody on the Green Bay Packers knows the receivers from Detroit, it is Holmes. He knows where they like to run. He knows where they like to catch the ball. And here he is in perfect position to get between Rodney Peete and Richard Johnson. Richard Johnson, you got to admire him for being out here at all. He's been suffering with the flu the last couple of days and was so sick he couldn't come out of his room last night.
He and a few others, Benny Blades included. 2nd and 10 from the 33. Sanders, the ball carrier. And hit and driven out of bounds by Leroy Butler. So a gain of only 1 on the play. Good defensive play by the Packers.
And if you've seen the Detroit Lions play the last couple of weeks, you say, well, why didn't Barry Sanders make a move? Nobody's hit him like that the last couple of weeks in these big games they've played in. On this field, even Barry Sanders can't make the quick moves. You try to make the quick jolting moves, you'll fall down. This field's frozen.
Well, interestingly, the architects of the run and shoot, June Jones and Mouse Davis, think they will have a better chance with the passing game than the running game.
Passing and running game. It's a running game. It's wide open.
3rd and 9. Johnson in motion. Pete to pass. Off the fingertips of Richard Johnson. Incomplete. Had more than enough for the 1st down. Maybe just a little much zip on it.
Maybe a little too much zip, maybe a little frozen ball, but that's something the Detroit receivers have done all year long. They have dropped passes. Rodney Pete's statistics would be much better if it wasn't for his receivers. They've dropped an incredible amount of passes.
Jim Arnold's on to punt for the Lions. 8th-year player out of Vanderbilt.
And he's dropped from 2nd in the league to 10th in the league in about the last month. He's really had a hard time, and he's kicking into the wind.
Jeff Query back for the Packers. And Query decides to let it go. And the Lions unable to keep the ball in the field of play. So a good decision, as it turns out, by Jeff Query. Packers will open up at their own 20. Wisconsin. The Packer faithful sell out here, trying to urge on the Pack All tied at 7 apiece with 3:33 remaining. The Packers took advantage of a Lions turnover fumble, and Blair Keel caps it with a 3-yard touchdown run. Rodney Peete comes right back, drives the team downfield, a 26-yard touchdown run, his 6th rushing touchdown of the season, and we're all tied at 7 apiece.
We saw those foot warmers. Those things can be dangerous when your feet are frozen because you don't even know your foot might be burning till you smell the leather of your shoes.
That's hot. Thompson, the lone back in for the Packers. 1st and 10 from the 20. Thompson, the ball carrier. And greeted hard and dropped. No gain on the play. Jerry Ball, and that is a load to run into. Jerry Ball, Pro Bowl selection, 6'1", 298.
And 298, James, might be a little bit charitable. Watch him working right here. I believe he's right there. Watch him working over the right. I'm sorry, he's not on the nose guard. He's on Campen. Look at him. Sheds Campen, throws him off, drives Campen to the turf. Oof. That's a little power. 298 pounds.
You said charitable, huh?
Charitable? 298? It's like Bubba Paris being 298. Not since the 8th grade picnic either, Jerry.
2nd and 10. 3 wideouts in for the Packers. Keel to pass. Complete to Haddix. And Haddix up near the 24. 4-yard gain on the play. Will bring up a 3rd and 6. Well, one thing that Blair Keel said he was really going to enjoy about starting is that he's starting with the score 0-0.
That's a change. He's not in the hole and has to pass every single play. And he dumps this out. But what is it about cold weather sound better? Did you hear that hit?
Crunch.
I mean, whack. Watch this thing at the end. Watch Owens hitting Keel. Now that hurts. That's not roughing the passer, but you know the field is frozen when the quarterback goes down and then slides a couple yards.
3rd and 6. 4 wideouts in. Trips left for Green Bay. Keel. Complete for the 1st down. Up to about the 33-yard line. So Blair Keel looking sharp in the cold weather as he finds Charles Wilson. A 9-yard pass play from Keel to Wilson.
And Keel's getting a lot of confidence here early in the game, in not only himself but in his receivers, because he's putting these balls in some tough spots for them to catch. They're not exactly right in the breadbasket. A couple of them have been behind him, and Wilson's come up with 2 real tough catches.
2:07 left in the 1st quarter. Tie ball game 7 apiece. 1st and 10 for the Pack from their own 33. Kemp in motion. Keel with time. 1st down across midfield. Blair Keel 5 of 5 this time, finding Ed West. 20-yard pass play from Keel to West.
Keel wasn't the least bit nervous yesterday. In fact, he ran into our producer Bob Monsbach and director Kathy Barretto in the parking lot. Almost got hit by a sliding car. He says, hey, I'm not nervous. Even that can't rattle me. And here completes his 5th in a row to start the game. 2nd one to Ed West. I mean, I don't think Blair Keel's been in 5 for 5 since he played Navy.
Way back. We talked about tough situations. He came in against Seattle when the team was down 20 to zip, and Philadelphia when they were down 17 zip. He says, let me start with an even slate. I'll do it. And he's doing it right now. Ball at the 46 of Detroit. Play action. Keel. Complete for yet another 1st down. West. Down to the 26. Chris Spielman on the stop. 20 yards picked up on that play.
Now some good improv here because they wanted to run a little boot. Now watch Woodside slip and fall down. So much for the play fake. Now Keel looks like he's resolved the fact, well, hey, there's nobody open. I better run. Now all of a sudden he spots West. Jamison falls down. So yeah, it's going to make for an interesting day with this field being in the condition it's in.
3 catches for 58 yards for Ed West. 1st and 10. Ball at the 25 of the Lions. Haddix. 8 yards on the play by Michael Haddix. And that will be the last play of the 1st quarter, and an impressive one as the Packers on the drive score all tied at 7 apiece Packers ball at the 17 when we come back. Seven apiece. James Brown along with Randy Cross. And Randy, you wouldn't know that the field is that slippery by at least the overall action in the first quarter.
There's not but about a half of inch of real footing area on that field. The grass does not go down very deep. It's tundra underneath that stuff.
We'll talk about underneath the field. Heating coils under the field were activated, of course, all week to try and keep the field in good condition.
You know, Billy Yard, the guard for the Green Bay Packers, number 67, told me before the game, I'm getting so tired of hearing about these heating coils. You know what that's for? So the field looks green before the game. By the time we get on it, it's frozen.
2nd and 2. Ball at the 18 of the Lions. Haddix, the ball carrier, trying to turn the corner. Nowhere to go. Good hit applied by William White and Benny Blaze.
Let's watch the entire right side of this Detroit Lions defense pursue. Spielman, Owens, Kofer, Jerry Ball. The play before this, Haddix went right up the field. He did not try to go laterally. Don't try to go sideways on this field, fellas. You're not going to get the footing. You got to go north and south.
A loss of 1 on the play brings up a 3rd and 3. Fontenot. And good enough for the first down as Fontenot with the run stopped by Benny Blaze.
Well, if it works the first time, why not go back to it until they stop it? And this time, instead of Sterling Sharp doing it, they're pulling the backside guard, Billy Yard, number 67. And he's leading Fontenot around. Detroit just overreacted to the right and couldn't quite recover back to the left in time. Once again, Benny Blaze making the tackle.
7 yards gained on the play. Ball at the 11. Just underway here in the second quarter of action. All tied at 7 apiece. Thompson, the lone back, and the ball carrier. And Thompson running hard inside the 10.
And that's what the Packers need to do. The Packers need to run right at the goalpost. Don't go sideways towards the markers. Go towards the goalpost, north and south.
Thompson with 3 yards picked up on a play. Ball marked at the 8. Well, Randy, you mentioned also that while this is a passing offense, Lindy Infante is just looking for more confidence in a running back.
He hopes Thompson's the man. We mentioned earlier, he won't know that until next year in training camp when Thompson gets a chance to really show him what he can do.
2nd and 7. Drop in the backfield. Thompson, nowhere to go. Chris Spielman. You know, the one guy who seemed to be the most excited about playing this kind of weather, that man there, Chris Spielman, genuinely excited.
He was disappointed when he got drafted by the Detroit Lions because he has to play indoors. Here's an Ohio State Big Ten linebacker. He's used to playing outside in the snow. He's outside in the snow for spring football in college, and all of a sudden he's got to play under a bubble. He had a big smile on his face last night. He goes, yeah, this is great. This is great. The Chris is going to be 30 below. Oh, but this is great.
You know, he said they ought to outlaw domes. A loss of 6 on the play brings up a 3rd and 14. 4 wideouts in for the Packers. Keel. And Blair Keel with nowhere to run thanks to the alert read by Benny Blaze.
Well, Detroit is up early in this game. They're attacking, and they're showing Blair Keel an aggressive style of defense. It's the old fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. You're not going to get Detroit Lions and Woody Widenhofer twice with a quarterback draw.
4th down. Field goal situation as Chris Jackie comes on. And Jackie to attempt a 32-yard field goal.
Into the wind.
And it's no good. Well, Chris Jackie now 21 of 26 on the season in field goals, all tied at 7. One playoff spot available, but if the season were to end today, the Cowboys would be in it playing the Bears. Philadelphia will be playing at Washington. Of course,
Division races all settled there. But Randy, talking about today's game, Green Bay, a must victory against the Lions. They look a little uncharacteristic, mostly a passing team, Green Bay, but they're keeping it on the ground.
You've got to go to the short passing game in this kind of weather on a frozen field, James, and you got to run north and south. I keep saying that, but you got to run straight ahead. You can't run sideways, and that's what Green Bay is doing well right now. Now Detroit has the wind at their back. Now they can start using their offense and start throwing the ball.
First and 10, ball at the 20 for the Lions. Sanders. And there was a clear example of the kind of footing problems that this field is causing as Sanders was trying to shake and bake and got shook.
Let's take one more look at that missed field goal, give you an idea of what that quartering wind is that I was talking about. Now, from the lower angle, we can see everything. They're coming after it. They're not even close. Now, from the upper angle, watch the wind push this ball. It's coming from the right to the left. Look at that. It would have been good, but the wind pushed it all the way out, just outside the upright. And that wind is now at the Detroit Lions back.
Only a yard gained on the play by Sanders brings up a 2nd and 9. Incomplete. Intended receiver was Terry Greer. And Greer covered by Mark Lee as well as Tiger Green.
These Detroit Lions have had a tough season, James. They started out at the beginning of the year. Everyone thought they were going to be a playoff team. They lost some tough games early. And head coach Wayne Font said no one has it been harder on than him. And he talked about his wife crying for him, talking about how tough it is, the decisions he had to make, and the season he's had. But I firmly believe this will be a winning team.
Pete, 0 for his last 5 to pass again, and that one is batted down. 0 for his last 6 as Sean Patterson, big number 96, 6'4", 270, got a hand on it.
And here's big Sean Patterson right here, working at right defensive tackle. Watch what he does right at the very end, like all defensive linemen are taught to do from the first day. He's not going to get there. Get your hands up. Get in the passing lane. Get in the passing lane. He looked like he almost was a receiver.
Jim Arnold will attempt to do a better job punting this time. Back deep for the pack, Jeff Query. And this one is caught by the wind up at the height. Takes a Lion roll down to about the 41 of Green Bay. So it winds up being a 37-yard punt by Jim Arnold. Packers ball when we come back. Scoring guy indeed. Jim Nance and Billy Packer will be bringing that action. That'll be coming up after football today.
And something fairly unusual for Oklahoma fans, they're going to see a real good team early in the year playing at Oklahoma.
Ooh, Randy. First and 10 for Green Bay. Ball at its own 43. And Haddix running hard up near midfield. Following an 8-yard run by Michael Haddix, 8th-year player out of Mississippi State.
You know, last couple of weeks, Tony Mandarich working right here at the right tackle position has had a very tough time with a lot of people. But Tony at Michigan State, and from then on, has always been a guy that can drive block. And look at him get a hold of Ferguson and just manhandle him and turn him around. That's what guys say about Tony Mandarich. You can't let him get surface. You can't get his body on you. If he does, you're dead.
Darrell Thompson, the tailback out of the I formation. He's the ball carrier. And he has the first down. Inside the 45. A 6-yard run by Darrell Thompson.
Well, we saw last play where Ferguson had a little trouble. He got too much of the body of Mandarich on him. He's got to discard him. He's got to get rid of him. Now let's rematch the matchup one more time. Here's our two guys. Does Ferguson get rid of him? Mandarich blasts into him. Look at Ferguson. Sheds him, throws him to the ground. And Spielman sort of trips him from behind, or he'd have made the tackle right there, but it was good hard running by Thompson.
Eagles tackler Mike Goldman didn't have any very flattering things to say about Tony Mandarich.
Well, that really wasn't quite nice in the paper. He said the toughest thing about playing against Green Bay was trying to figure out where Reggie White was going to throw Mandarich so you wouldn't trip on him.
First and 10. Thompson, the ball carrier again. Good second effort as Thompson gets down to the 41, a pickup of about 3. Bring up a 2nd and 7. Dan Owens and Chris Spielman in on the stop.
When you look at this Packer front line, just physically, you got to say these guys can run the ball. It's not a matter of they're not big enough. Look at Ron Hallstrom, one of the larger guards in captivity. Out of the Max Montoya mold. Another fellow number 65, and these guys are 6'5", 310 pounds. But that wasn't a guard when I was in college. 6'5", 310.
Two tight end formation as you take a look at the huge disparity in time of possession. Jackie Harris in motion, and this is Haddix slipping and being dropped at the 40. Chris Spielman helping them. And you see Haddix really upset with the footing here. A gain of only 1 on the play.
And he should be unhappy. Blair Keel, who was standing behind him, really went crazy when he saw Haddix. Right now they know this is a big hole. This is a huge play. Look at that. You see anybody in the picture? Benny Blades had fallen down. There was nobody on the right side of the Detroit Lions defense. Haddix going to his left would have had at least 10 to 15 yards.
3rd and 6. 4 wideouts in for the Packers. Ball at the 40 of Detroit. 7:20 remaining in the first half. Ball game tied at 7 apiece. Keel to pass. Intended receiver was Sterling Sharp, but Keel had to get rid of it as the corner blitz was on. First incompletion of the day for Blair Keel.
You saw Blair Keel kind of adjust his neck back there, so check if all those vertebrae are in the right place. Now watch right here. Watch Blair Keel at the very end get hit right before he throws that mortar round up there for the receiver to run under.
So Don Bracken is on to punt for the Packers. And dangerous Mel Gray is back for the Lions. Gray from the 16. Turns the corner and driven out of bounds at the 31. And give the credit to Jerry Woods with a good hit. 24-yard punt, 14-yard return. Quarter, 7:01 remaining in the first half. And Rodney Peete has grown up around football. His father, of course, Willie Peete, the offensive backfield coach for the Green Bay Packers. Cute-looking pair there early on as Rodney again continuing to hang around football quite a bit, but with a bit more hair at the time than he has now, believe it or not. As Barry Sanders trying to find some footing and has it for the first down and more. Johnny Holland finally runs Barry Sanders out of bounds across midfield at about the 46. And Tiger Green is still down on the field for the Packers. A 25-yard run by Sanders.
Well, just about the time you say, hey, the field is frozen, you can't make quick cuts, never say never to Barry Sanders. Look at this guy go. This field is frozen. These guys, you cannot grab Barry Sanders in this kind of weather. You've got to go around the legs. Don't go for the jersey. That jersey is as cold as everything else.
The one running back who elicits more oohs and ahs from players and fans alike. And Tiger Green is being tended to. I was starting to talk about the Peete family. Let's get a bit more on that from our colleague, Leslie Visser.
James, it's stressful to be the mother of a player or the wife of a coach, and I'm here with Edna Peete, who is both. Edna, this can't be a typical day at the office for you.
No, it isn't. It is, I can't explain it. You know, I'm hoping that both teams win at, points in the game. I know I want the Packers to win today and Roddy to play great, so it's just hard, I'll forget and root for,
Well, you saw your son score against your husband, but the good news is they'll both be home for Christmas. Back to you, JB.
All right, Leslie, I'm surprised that she actually came out and said which team she wanted to win. Staying with the husband, huh? And Tiger Green gets off the field on his own power.
Let's take a look at Tiger Green right here, number 23. What you have to look for is at the very end. Now watch Tiger Green right there. Bam, gets stepped on that frozen field like we keep mentioning by Mark Murphy. Piles on top of him. Got the wind knocked out of him, starting stretching on the side.
On 1st and 10, and Sanders finally roped up and dropped by Burnell Dent. And will we see a flag on the play? No, we don't. 5 yards run forward by Barry Sanders.
It was funny talking to Barry Sanders last night. I said, Barry, what are you getting the most tired of? Everybody wants to ask you about the rushing title, and do you want the NFL rushing title? What bothers you the most? He looks me straight in the eye and says, yeah, that question. I'm getting sick of hearing that question. He says, I'm worried about the Lions. He showed that last year. Last year he could have had the NFL rushing title, but came out of the game late in the game and said, hey, look, I don't want to run the game to cost us the win.
6 DBs in for the Packers on 2nd and 5. The option. Pete keeps it 1st down. Inside the 30. And Mark Murphy drops him. Packers thought they had a loose ball, but it was down by contact.
You know, you hear the ball down by contact and the ground can't cause a fumble. Here's a fumble we got to give to the ground right here. Bam. That elbow hits that and the ball just rolls off the field.
And the coaching staff looking at Rodney Peete. 2 carries for 38 yards. One of the top 4 running quarterbacks in the league. 1st and 10, Detroit. Ball at the 29 of Green Bay. 5:08 remaining in the half. Peete with time. Complete to Campbell. Make that Aubrey Matthews. And Matthews down near the 20. 9-yard pickup on the play. 1 yard shy of the 1st down. I think the net effect of that is it's cold.
And thermometers cannot gauge wind chill.
Well, I tell you what, the fans will be able to. We're live here at Lambeau Field, Green Bay, Wisconsin, a packed house, watching a tie ball game. And Barry Sanders scored his way and juke for the 1st down and inside the 5. Barry Sanders run out of bounds by Tiger Green, and there's a flag on the play back near the line of scrimmage. And you see the preliminary signal against the Lions.
And from the look, from his body language, Ken Dallafor, number 67, the right guard, is going slightly off on the officials, claiming I didn't do it.
Number 67, offense.
There's big Dallafor. He got accused of being kind of a cheap shot artist after that Monday night game where Rivera claimed I was kicked in the leg. Now here's Dallafor working right here. It's going to happen at the end of the play. Keep an eye on him, because this flag is thrown very, very, very... Ooh, body slam. If you're going to do it, you might as well earn it.
2nd and 11 for the Lions after that penalty. Peete looking for Clark and nearly intercepted. So Clark had gone inside and Peete was thrown to the outside. A packed house, however cold it is here at Lambeau Field, watching the longest uninterrupted rivalry in the NFL continue. Packers and the Lions all tied at 7 apiece. Blair Keel, the 3rd-string quarterback with his first non-strike start, picked up the scoring first, 3-yard run. Rodney Peete comes back on the next series for the Lions and caps off the drive with a 26-yard run to the score. 3rd and 11. 20 below with the wind chill. Complete to Clark. And Clark, a herd of tacklers led by Leroy Butler, down to about the 23. He was like 3 yards shy of what was needed for the 1st down. That'll bring up a 4th down situation.
And Eddie Murray kicking this field goal will have to take into account the wind is blowing from his right to left in a quartering fashion. So it's kind of like a golf shot. He's going to want to draw this one. He's going to start it at the right upright and then draw it into the middle.
Eddie Murray will be attempting a 41-yard field goal, his longest of the season, a 47. High snap. It's up. And it's no good. So Eddie Murray unable to connect and convert. And we stay knotted at 7.
It said started here and let it end up here. Watch where Eddie Murray's field goal starts out and never has a chance due to the wind. He starts it out in the left third and the wind just pushes it well outside.
I think that says it about all.
Couldn't say it better myself. Hey, I was down on that field with Leslie Visser. We were down there for about 45 minutes before this ball game. It is some serious kind of cold. We're talking cold, cold, cold.
Well, right now it's down to a half degree with the wind chill minus 33. You wouldn't know it by looking at them. Sharp and Kemp, the receivers for the Packers. On 1st and 10, Keel has the pass deflected. And Tim Harris, linebacker for the Packers, number 97, headed to the locker room, groin pull. We'll check to see if we will see him later on in the game.
And Lawrence Pete, number 96 for Detroit, is in at nose guard because Jerry Ball left the game early with a little tweak.
Lawrence Pete just a little lighter at 282. 2nd and 10. Ball on the 23. Woodside and Haddix, the backs. Woodside, the tailback, out of the eye. Play action. Keel throws it complete. And Perry Kemp with the 6-yard pickup, 4 yards shy of the first down. Well, football action continues tomorrow, and of course the last word before kickoff, the NFL today, and then doubleheader action will come your way after that. Dallas at Philadelphia, heated rivalry, emotions spilling over to the coaching sidelines. Tampa Bay at Chicago, and the Rams at Atlanta. And in the late game, the Saints, San Francisco Saints still in the playoff hunt, and the Giants at Phoenix. Joe Bugle's Cardinals looking to rebound from the spanking against the Cowboys. 4 wide receivers in for the Packers here. Blair Keel, impressive numbers in the first half. 3rd and 3. And Keel for the first down to Wilson. Just inside the 40 at about the 38-yard line. A 9-yard pass play as we head down to the 2-minute warning here in the first half. And Blair Keel, the 60-year player out of Notre Dame, looking impressive statistically. All tied at 7. On the playoff hunt, one last spot in the NFC. Packers must win this game against the Lions today to stay in contention. And of course, they will be hoping that Dallas will be losing 2 and the Saints to lose 1 in order to get in, if the Packers win their remaining 2. All tied at 7 apiece. You take a look at Lindy Infante and Blair Keel. Lindy Infante was actually hoping that it might snow today so that he could coach in his first game here in Green Bay in the snow, but I think he prefers a clear field of vision with the job his third string quarterback is doing.
And Green Bay has 2 timeouts. They need at least 40 yards. Remember, Detroit is a bend but don't break defense. They can gain yards in 2-minute situations.
1st and 10, 4 wideouts for the Packers. And complete for the first down as Keel finds his favorite receiver in the game today, Charles Wilson. Ball marked at the 49 of Detroit with 1:46 remaining.
Green Bay will be moving into their hurry-up offense, but right here, we'll catch this play. Blair Keel gets the first 11 or 12 yards of that 40 he needs for that to get into field goal range down by the 20.
Back to live action as Keel was going in the direction of Charles Wilson again. Wilson defended by Ray Crockett.
You know, in normal circumstances, with Chris Jackie kicking for the Green Bay Packers, you'd say get the ball to the 30-yard line. Anywhere from 47 or so, Chris Jackie can kick a ball at the end of the half. Under these conditions, it's optimistic to say let's get it to the 20-yard line and see if you can make a 37-yard field goal with this wind blowing. So the Packers have to get at least to the 20-yard line.
I'm sure Lindy Infante knows that. 2nd and 10. 4 wideouts. Keel out of the shotgun. Handoff to Fontenot. And Fontenot with the first down. And more. Herman Fontenot down to the 32, stopped by William White. 18 yards picked up on that play. And there's a timeout on the field. Green Bay burns off one and has one remaining.
No. Nice block. Well-designed play by Green Bay. Completely caught Detroit off guard and dropping, expecting the pass.
One timeout remaining for the Packers. Full complement of 3 for the Lions. 1:21 remaining in the first half. First and 10 Pack at the 31 of Detroit. Keel with time. Throws it incomplete in the direction of Jeff Query. You know, Rand, it's kind of interesting how quarterbacks all have their favorite receivers. Charles Wilson came into the game today with only 1 catch on the year. He's got 4 for 42 yards.
Well, a new quarterback is a new opportunity for everybody on the offense, not only just the wide receivers. So running backs, everybody's got a chance to impress their leader. And every time a quarterback comes in, whether he's the first, second, third, fourth string guy, there's a fresh shot.
Second and 10, and the Packers trying to get a shot at the end zone. 1:16 remaining in the first half. Fontenot, the lone back. And Keel throws it complete to Fontenot for yet another first down. Pushed out of bounds at the 17 by George Jamison. And the clock ticking.
And another point to remember about these backup guys that are being a real factor in this game, James, these are the guys Blair Keel's used to throwing to in practice on the scout team.
Intended receiver again, Charles Wilson, incomplete. Ray Crockett defended. Packers certainly in good territory now if they have to go for a field goal.
Now, weather like this is always good for, remember the fractured flickers you see in football? Watch Wilson. That's frozen mud right there. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
No way you can look smooth.
That was an attempted double SoCal, but did not quite pull it off.
Second and 10 from the 17 of Detroit. Tie ball game, 7 apiece. Query in motion. And Keel throws it complete to Query. And Query run out of bounds just inside the 10. 7 yards picked up. 3 yards shy of what's needed for the first down. Chris Oldham pushing them out of bounds.
Very impressed by the composure and the cool of this Green Bay Packers offense right now, led by Blair Keel. They're in no hurry, they're in no rush, and they're just methodically moving this ball down. Now they can think touchdown. They're almost assured of a field goal, or as assured as a field goal you're going to get today in this wind and this weather.
11 of 16, 132 yards on the half for Blair Keel. 3rd and 3. Inside handoff to Fontenot, who goes nowhere, dropped in the backfield. Pick a number.
It was just too soon. They ran that play 2 or 3 plays ago, and it worked really well. Big hole opened up. Campen had a great block back. We illustrated that one. They come back with the same play 3 plays later, and they're not buying. They're not biting.
Loss of 5 on the play as we take a look at Chris Jackie, who had a few words showing his disgust at not being selected as a Pro Bowler this year. Thought he had a good year and said, hey, how in the world can you even vote for somebody who kicks in a dome?
And they run the clock down here. They'll just take their crack at the field goal and take their last time out.
Well, 3 seconds remaining, and Jackie will get his opportunity to come on to attempt the field goal.
I know, Chris Jackie, you were mentioning about him knocking Morton Anderson's selection to the Pro Bowl. You know, Morton Anderson will be remembered as one of the all-time greats when he's done playing. I think Chris Jackie should just sort of shut up, prove he's a good kicker before he worries about who's going to Hawaii in February.
And do it over time. This is a 37-yard field goal attempt. And this is no good. So Chris Jackie, not having any success And the score stays tied at 7 apiece. So halftime here in Green Bay, Wisconsin at Lambeau Field. We've got it all knotted at 7 apiece.